You know, it seems like everybody is talking about innovation these days. Even the stodgiest CEOs and companies seem to have come around to its significance to their business success. So surely it's happening everywhere, right? Well, it's not. And here's why. We've been misled about how innovation works. We've come to falsely believe that it is solely the product of the lone genius or the hyper-creative team that spits out one great idea after another. We've become convinced that innovation lives outside the box. But when you really consider where most of our work happens, and you consider where most of the innovation possibility lives, it's not outside the box. It's squarely in the middle of it. You see, innovation actually happens in small steps. One small improvement built on another, on another, on another, until one day, all of those small improvements look like one massive innovation. So, what if I told you that HR, you have the opportunity to unlock this innovation within your organization? By changing how you think about innovation, you do. And here's how it happens. There's actually a model that already exists for innovating through small steps. It's called hacking. Computer hackers have been innovating this way for years. Now, before you freak out, HR, a hacker, by definition, is someone who understands the details of a programmable system so that they can make changes to that system to expand its capabilities. Now, the cool thing about hacking is that it doesn't require a special degree or any complicated training. It actually mainly requires that you be curious, willing to experiment, and have the courage to try new things. Probably characteristics that are already in ready supply throughout your workforce. Now, hacking is actually fairly simple. You start with a system and you ask the question, is it awesome? If it is, leave it alone. If it's not, then decide how it can be better. That becomes your goal. Then you take the system, you pull it apart into its smallest parts or components. You take one of those components and you make a change that you think will make the system better. Then you try it and you see what happens. Keep the good, throw out the bad, start over. The reason hacking can work for us in HR is that it's simple and failure is survivable because we're making very small changes. And what's better than that for us is that anyone can do it with a little instruction and some practice. So let's do some hacking right now. Let's hack staff meetings. Because let's face it, staff meetings suck. They've become a ritualized form of corporate torture in most organizations. Clearly not awesome. So let's hack it. Right? So probably all of us can agree that most meetings are too long. If staff meetings suck, long staff meetings really suck. So by making any meeting shorter, we have a high probability of making it better. So that's our goal. So next, we'd take our meeting and we'd break it into its parts, its components. This is where the magic of hacking starts, because we don't usually think of systems in terms of its individual components. But before we start hacking one, I want to remind you about the box. Hacking is not an outside-the-box activity. It happens inside the box. We hack within our authority and ability and resources and permission. We hack things that we can control. So as we think about hacking our staff meeting to make it shorter, one of the things we might hack is a ground rule. Perhaps we add a rule that if you can't be at least a minute early to the meeting, you don't come. No late arrivals, no exceptions. We could also hack the structure. We might decide that no single update can be longer than 3 minutes. Anything longer than 3 minutes needs to be sent out ahead of time for review and prep. Right? That's hacking. Now, one of the things that I want to mention about hacking that's important to know is that these small innovations that we're talking about don't just stack one on top of the other on top of the other. They actually inspire one another. Because as I've been talking about hacking staff meetings, it sparked ideas for how you would hack your own staff meeting. It's contagious. So here's your opportunity. Go back and build a workforce of hackers by teaching this simple process. The math is simple. The more people you enlist in making continuous improvements on a regular basis, the more likely it is that major innovation will occur. So that leaves us to one important question for you. Innovation doesn't have to be a mystery. You now hold the key to unlock its potential. What will you do with it? Thank you.